Did you get phone calls from like Bobby, Ralph? You need a remix.
No,
you need to get on.
no, but you know, be like Flavor. You know, don't get him twisted. To know some hot shit.
Yeah.
That nigga showed up to the one. He showed up to the third video.
Bobby, right?
If you look at the end, I thought it was me. It's Ricky, Ronnie, Bobby, me. The camera goes down the line. He said, I gotta come get some. And then it went one step further. We played the forum. And Ralph and Johnny came. So we backstage, it's the fourth night. And they like, yo, guess who's on the left side of the stage? We was like, who? They said, Dre. They said, well, guess who's over on the other side of the stage? We said, who? Ralph and Johnny. That shit right there was the best feeling in the world because our two powerful leads got a chance to see the work, what we become. And then to see this nigga who don't get out much, sitting there like at a show, Dre, it was a good feeling because it was phasing into Chronic and all of that. And just to know that the magnitude of the success was hitting it. But I forgot to mention at Madison Square, guess who was in the fourth row? Puff Daddy. So niggas was coming out of who they were and getting into what it is.
Right.
You know, Dougie's hitting me, yo, nigga, what the fuck? I heard y'all murdered it the second show. So I realized Poison was kind of creeping us through other crevices. And they were looking at us different because the industry was wearing like sexy shirts and baggy slacks.
Right.
We showed up at the Soul Train Awards with the jeans and the boots and all that. So when you see Jodeci and you see What's the 411 and you see TLC and Jagged Edge, we kind of moved into a different
era.
Nobody was doing that before y'all.
right?
Nobody.
Yeah,
Because when you go to a award show back then, this real talk, you know you gonna wear, you going to the suit store. Because you trying to look like a star.
Right.
Well, we showed up like, fuck that. We used to wear suits with New Edition, but we gonna be BBD. And people looked at us. When we went downstairs at this hotel to go to the award show, right? Our manager said, niggas, y'all gonna get dressed? We said, nigga, we dress. So we get in the car and we like, yo, just stay strong, stay true to what we believe in. And believe it or not, the help of Shirt King and them out of Queens, and the jean and the boot going from the swap meet boot to the Timberland. Then it was the boot and the sneaker. I mean, we started getting a little crazy then. But yeah. And then the backwards, all that, right?
So y'all did that before Kris Kross? The backwards clothes?
It's on the front cover of the album.
Wow.
There's a I was just online fucking with JD last night. I was like, nigga, you gonna tell the truth. Either you gonna cut a check or you gonna write a song. Right? So, and I don't like to skip subjects, but I'm gonna give you the story of it because we're still New Edition, institutionalized, and not wanting to be so far from the group. That's why the end of Poison says, shouts to Ralph Tresvant, Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill. We're still kind of the background of the group. We don't look at it like, fuck them.
And the whole any
Right, yeah, the whole, so we're still like, you know, trying to figure out how we gonna get over here. And so I had this jacket, bro, right? This motherfucker was a 3X. You know what we was in the 90s. Niggas was here and shit looking like balloon pants, like Missy shit, right? And I was on set, and it was a leather jacket we had made. And it didn't have nothing on the front, but it had New Edition written on the back, you know? And I was just like, you know, I think it was Ron. I said, yo, zip me in, nigga. So I go like this. He go, what you doing, Mike? Nigga, I got to show the shit. So he zips it up. So when you see the Poison album cover, that's a zipped up backwards jacket.
Wow.
And then when you go to the remix cover, Ronnie has on a patchwork backup jacket. And then we did that. And then, you know, JD had this dream, you know, to go with Jump, and he thought of it. And, you know, I let him have that for a little while, but he's got the cash in. He's got the cash in now.
Yeah.
And he's in the doc too.
Right. Oh, dope.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Dope. Matter of fact, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he's in the I love him to death, but I'm like, come on, run it, nigga. Let that go. Let that go, bro.
What was your reaction when you seen that? When you seen
Well, he
Kris
dissed
Kross
us.
and all that?
Don't be claiming that it's mental.
Right.
Nigga.
Oh, yeah.
So I went online
To
and said,
another bad little fad and all that. Yeah.
So I went online and said, yeah, nigga, that was a hot line, but come on, man, stop. And the crazy thing is, everything the BBD was mental. That was our slogan. Shit is mental. So he made the right record, and it caught me off guard because the kids, ABC, they didn't understand.
What they were saying.
Yeah, and why?
Why? Yeah, what's the
You know, so we looked at it like, damn, and I'm not like no.
Kris Kross, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not thinking
They was
how
on
you
fire,
think, bro.
too.
With
I said it was on fire too. When
it was
they
a
dropped
great record.
Yeah.
But you know, now a nigga hit it with a bar. You go to the lab and you counterpunch, right?
Right.
I didn't counter. I was like, yo, what the fuck? You know, we didn't think of how to come behind it. And there's some freight trains you can't catch. That motherfucker was a monster. We just didn't understand the slap because when you say shit is mental, that's really more the BBD than it is the ABC because we gave it to them.
Right.
And I don't think me and Ron and Rick caught it like that. I think when they did the style, that's when we used to say that like, oh shit, these niggas on the front of their cover in these baseball shirts. And because we're not like self-promotion, man, like, yo, we did this, we did that. We kind of just sat back like the bosses and just let it go by. But then when you read the stories and, you know, the J. Cole's and they're like, yo, I loved it, Kris Kross and the backwards shit. You're like, hold up, man. That's our shit.
You loved our shit, nigga.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
You know what
my
I mean?
shit.
And it was such a big style, but where they didn't mention it, TLC did. We're the female Belle of the Bow. So where we wouldn't get it over here, we would get it over there. And then we realized, in terms of the culture, our stance on clothes reshaped why R&B groups look like rappers.
Facts.
So you could start at the Bad Boy building and come on down.
Now, yep.
Because up until then, niggas was in what?
Suits.
A motherfucking hard bottom.
Shoes, all that shit.
I think Belle Biv DeVoe actually was the ones who bridged R&B with hip hop to where it's not. It's the R&B
Yeah, that
became
boom
a
bap,
part
that
of the hip hop family.
Well, the graffiti kept us on the block. Faye was mean. Eric was close by, you know, so we getting some of that Brooklyn and Supreme shit. There was a lot of elements from my relationship and things that kept us connected so that even when we did it, you could respect it. Like, you know a nigga trying.
Right.
And you know a nigga that deliver. It's just some niggas, you don't gotta say nothing to them. Real recognize real. And they kept us insulated, but we didn't try to walk like we just got out of jail. We just liked the element of the hip hop, the basketball hoops, because that's who we are. But we never went too far with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not our life. And
Did y'all ever think about at that time like starting your own merch and
we did.
y'all did?
Yeah, we gave Starter their kick. Remember the Starter's BBD jacket was one of the first merch deals.
That's crazy.
See, this is when Starter was up in Norwalk, up there in Connecticut. Not Norwalk, up, I forgot what town it was. But they made our jacket. Yeah. That we was there at the beginning. And this is like 90, 91.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know that.
When
Yeah,
you get a
that's
chance,
what
man,
I'm
Google
talking
it, the
about.
BBD jacket.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
I've been
we
looking
was
up.
there.
I did not know that.
We got that with Starter, and they did our hats.
crazy.
It was called Flip Side, something like a flip side.
Yeah,
Because matter of
inside
fact,
out.
they made the hat inside out. So like, bro, if you took your hat and took the end lib, that was the crown.
Right.
That was their way of trying to inside out. And
Wow.
Freaka had it different, you know.
Wow. So now I understand why Kris Kross and ABC.
Yeah.
Had they little thing.
But they don't give them kids, you know, and they're not kids. Them niggas is grown men. Love y'all.
Right.
Rest in peace to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't give ABC enough credit for what they did for Atlanta. As I look at your hat, right? You got to think, when they came out, you know, with their manager, Kevin Wells, my partner at the time, my thing was to put kids on BET. There was no kids on TV. You know, it was just adults. And Atlanta was bubbling, but there really wasn't nobody killing it. And Scrappy, T.I., the generation that came out that blew up,
Yeah.
all of those niggas tell you straight out their mouth, those was the little niggas we wanted to be like.
On this show.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, but when people mention the A, they don't respect Aisha. They're not respecting Playground. But those two videos is what shook up the young girls. And they were in front of the movement. Now, what happened with Outkast and how it started coming, the Goody and all that,
Right.
those is all great talents, but I'm talking about shorty doo-wops. Them little niggas was the first. And sometimes I just hope the city and people continue to say their name, because they inspired some of these rappers that we really like to want to be an MC by just seeing them on TV.
It's a fact. We have Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bow Wow.
He said he didn't like Kris Kross because he was an ABC fan. Scrappy.
Illegal was on some ABC shit too. Remember Lil Malik and them?
Oh yeah, that's
Jamal.
right.
Remember the youngsters? They
Yeah,
was
youngsters.
all over there with ABC. All of the little wild little niggas was
with
with them. And when
ABC.
you look at them, like if you had a little brother or something, you'd be like, yo, Red, run with me, nigga. Like they was them type of little, they
Right.
from College Park. They some other little niggas too.
Yeah.
And I think that the jump record they took it on the shoulder, but they was never just some corny little kids. They don't even look corny now when you look at them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They not corny little kids. They represent that A well.
Wow.
And I'm thankful for them. Because
Why didn't it go past the second? Like,
I went to the Biv 10. Remember I told you it was some deal making. And I hate to say it this way, but you know, we here to drop jewels, right? I only made one album with both of those groups. I did the Coolin' at the Playground, Biv Entertainment.
and Cooley.
I did Cooley High, and then I went to Biv 10.
Why?
Well, that's in the doc.
Damn
And
it.
Mac, you good. I ain't gonna do you like
Stay
that.
running into the dock.
No. I told you my research guy. I got you. But it was, Joe was making a move with Motown, and what I had, he needed. That's it. It's like when you go see The Godfather, you sit down and he's putting water on the flowers and shit, you know, and he's talking to you, but he's doing other things in the office. And me, I'm saying, okay, I know what you need. So we just sat down and worked it out, you know. And that's what you do when you got respect and honor. Because he turned me into an executive. Jay just taught me business. He the one to say, you find some groups, come see me. And he brought something out of me I didn't even see in myself. So when he needed me, I wanted to step up. I wish I would have did the deal a little different. But you know, I thought, you know, you show respect, because the shit he taught me, man, is jewels. For real. Like whatever Arista was doing, or Sony was doing, or Capitol was doing, A&M, I knew all of that shit. I knew what each building was doing because my boss was the boss of bosses. So any black executive over there with a problem, they would call him. And then guess who else would get involved? Clarence Avon. Clarence Avon's go-to young executive was Gerald. So I'm in the office listening to Clarence Avon in one ear and Gerald in another, and I'm in my 20s.
Wow.
So I know shit about people and their deals, and because remember, when you an exec or a label head and you get messed up, you can't call him. He fucked you. You gotta call the
Clean up man.
yeah. That was in our building.
Clean up man.
It's hot for trap trapper turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard.